I hope you had a good half term and that you're still keeping fit and healthy. Some of you may be going back to school soon, some of you might have to wait a little bit longer. So I wanted to do a bit of yoga with you today. Yoga is really good for different reasons, for keeping your body physically fit and healthy, and also keeping your mind healthy as well. So some of you might be feeling a little bit sad and missing your friends, a bit frustrated if you've not really been out very much. So yoga will be really, really good for taking some breaths, clearing your head and making you feel a lot better for lots and lots of different emotions. So when we do yoga, you might already know because you've done this a lot in school, you need to start with breathing. So we're going to start with a balloon breath. So you need to fill your lungs up to full capacity, 4 seconds with control, and then slowly release that air. So what we're going to do is breathe in for 4 and then out for 4. So get yourself in a nice spot. This is my nice spot. I like all my house plants and things, so it's a nice little comfortable spot with a bit of space around me. So you can choose whatever space you like. And then make sure that you've got no distractions. You might do this in your room and shut your door so you can really, really concentrate on your breathing and on the different exercises. So sit in a comfortable position. You could have your legs crossed. You could have your legs out like this. Try not to have a lazy back like this. Try and sit up nice and straight, but make sure you are really, really comfortable. You could have your hands like this, or you can just have your palms facing up. I prefer just to have my palms facing up. So you're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then slowly out, 2, 3, 4, and then breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and breathing out, 2, 3, 4. One more, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and breathing out, 2, 3, 4. So that's our balloon breath. Another breath that we can do is one that concentrates on the outward breath, and it really helps to control that, and it's called the snake breath. And you love this one at school because you can make lots and lots of hissy noises in assembly or in the classroom. So you fill your lungs up to as much as possible, and then slowly let out the balloon, all the air you've got into your lungs, and slowly exhale until you naturally run out of breath. Okay, so make sure your shoulders are relaxed, so breathing in, and then okay, so you might want to do that a few more times. Make sure that you could have your eyes closed to help yourself concentrate. And make sure that you do that one as many times as you would like to do. So what we're going to do is make sure we use those breaths throughout any of the yoga exercises that we do. So we're always concentrating on our breathing, because in yoga that's the most important thing. Otherwise we're just doing gymnastics. Okay, so we're going to start by sitting, getting back nice and straight, and then we're going to have our legs out, and we're going to bring our arms up and breathing in. And then we're going to bring our arms down and breathe out. And what we can do with this one is, if you've got nice bare feet, you can blow on your toes, so you can feel the breeze on your toes. So breathing in, 3, 4, and then out, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then breathe out, 2, 3, 4. One more, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then breathing out, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do this one with the arms to the side. So we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and then slowly out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4. Brilliant. So bring your legs back in. Again, make sure your back's nice and straight, and we're going to bring our arm up to stretch down the side of our bodies like this. Kind of hold that stretch for a few seconds. Feel a stretch down the side of your body, and make sure you don't put your hand down and lean over. Make sure you've just slightly leant, don't fall off your bottom and onto the floor, just slightly leaning. And then we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2. So back up to upright. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4. Another one on this side, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go on the other side, again stretching, not putting our hand down, try and keep it in your lap. Lots of children want to do this, and it's not to try and get as far as possible, it's just so you feel a little stretch down the side. And then we're going to have our hands, I might just shuffle a little bit, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4, and breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then breathing out, 2, 3, 4, one more, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4. So I want you to think about now, you might want to close your eyes and just think about how you feel now. So you could put your hands on your chest and think about how you feel. So think whether it's worked, maybe you feel really, really calm, you feel really relaxed, you feel really refreshed. If you don't, maybe you want to do it a bit longer, do a few more breaths. And yoga's all about making it your own. So do whatever feels good for you. Makes you feel happier, makes you feel perhaps more energized at times as well. So we're going to do things with a bit more energy in a minute. This is more calming kind of yoga. Okay. So we're going to get a little bit more energized now. So for the next few yoga poses, we're going to need a pair of rolled up socks. We'd normally do what we're about to do with a beanbag. Obviously a rolled up pair of socks is perfect. So make sure you've got those. Hit pause if you need to go and grab those now. So we're going to do 3 different yoga poses, and they are going to flow from one to the other, and we're going to do each one really controlled and repeat them one after the other. So the first one we're going to do is plank. So again, make sure you've got plenty of space. So this one, you need to keep your tummy tucked in, your hands kind of where your shoulders are, your feet out. So there's your plank. Okay, so make sure you're not down here, make sure your bottom's not in the air. So you're really, really straight like a plank of wood. The next one we're going to do is a downward dog. So a downward dog, you would need to put your bottom in the air, bring your head down between your elbows, and again take a breath and hold that pose there for a few seconds, or while you take a breath. And then we're going to go back into plank, again really slowly, we're not going to rush. So back into plank and then hold that, and then we're going to go into a cobra. So for this one, you need to tuck your feet under so the tops of your feet are on the floor, and the other one, and then you need to bring your knees and then your hips down, and then you don't have to straighten your arms, try and keep your hips down. I have my elbows slightly bent, it all depends on how flexible you are. Okay, so you do need quite a bit of room for this. As you can see, I just about fit in this end of my room. Okay, so what we're going to do with our socks is we're going to put it on this part of our back, and we're going to do those 3 yoga poses, and we're going to try not to let the socks fall off, and we're thinking about our backs, thinking about sucking our tummies in. So you might need to get someone to put it on your back, or I can just try and do it myself. So into plank. So you can do it either one, it doesn't matter. So you can go into cobra next if you want. Again, really slowly and controlled, thinking about using your muscles, using good muscle tension. Tuck your toes under, into plank. And then this is the tricky bit, because you've got to go into downward dog without letting the socks roll off, like that. So hopefully you'll do a better job than me. Back into plank and back into cobra. Okay, obviously do that as long as you want. I obviously need to do a little bit longer to keep the socks from falling off my back. So the downward dog bit's the hardest bit. And then do that as many times as you like. So what we'll do now, if you haven't hit pause and had another go at that. Okay, so what we can do now is learn a few more poses, and hopefully at the end you'll have a bank of yoga poses, and we'll play a little bit of a game. So you know plank, you know cobra, you know downward dog. Okay, so I'm going to teach you a few more. Again, thinking about your breathing, thinking about your posture. Make sure you're not slouching or lean back with a lazy back. You're nice and relaxed, with good posture and your tummy tucked in. So the next one we're going to learn is a giraffe pose. So we need to have, again, nice straight. Gonna nibble at the leaves. Can be a giraffe. You can move a little bit if you want to get the leaves over here or the leaves over here. So that is our giraffe pose. So take a deep breath in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next one we're going to do is a tree pose. I know lots of the reception children know this one as well. So all of these poses you can make slightly easier or slightly more difficult, a bit more advanced. So a tree pose, you can have your heel on your foot. It's all about your balance, tummy tucked in. And you can be a tree, you could be a twisty tree, you could be a wonky tree, you could be a spiky tree. Okay. The next thing you could do to make it slightly harder is have the base of your foot kind of on the bottom of your calf. Again, remembering to have your tummy tucked in. Okay, even harder, as far as your leg will go up. Whoop, trying to keep your balance. And hold it and breathe for 4. And then breathe out for 4. And then obviously not forgetting to go on the other side. You might find that one leg is slightly more sturdy than the other one. Everyone has kind of a stronger leg, maybe because if you're right-handed or left-handed. I'm not quite sure. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4. Brilliant. So we've now got plank, we've got our cobra, we've got a downward dog, we've got our giraffe, and now we've got our tree pose. Okay, again, a nice simple one is a mountain pose, which is our hands are up like this. Again, tummy tucked in. Don't arch your back or don't lean forward. Try and keep your tummy tucked in and nice and straight. So that's our mountain pose. Nice, simple one. But make sure you're breathing in and out slowly and you're thinking about your posture. Okay, the next one we're going to do, which you love at school, is our gorilla pose. So I'm going to do this from the side so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So my feet are kind of hip distance apart, and then I'm just going to hinge at the hips, and then you just let your arms flop. So you can make your body fairly relaxed for this one. And then remember to take a nice deep breath while you're down here as well. Okay, so that's our gorilla pose. Okay, so we've got enough to play a little bit of a game now, and it's a game that I've played with you before, Yogi Says. So if I say Yogi Says downward dog, you do it. If I say downward dog and I've not said Yogi Says and you do that pose, then you're not out, because we're never out when we play this at school. You just have to sit in good sitting, which is this pose. Take 3 breaths, and then you can just carry back on into the game. So you could do this on your own. It could be a little personal challenge. See how many times you can get it right, or you could do this with your mum or your dad or whoever you live with, or your brothers and your sisters, or whoever's there. Okay, so Yogi Says, tree pose. So I did say Yogi Says, so you should have gone into tree pose. Yogi Says plank. So hopefully you've gone into plank. Yogi Says downward dog. Hopefully you've gone into downward dog, plank. I didn't say Yogi Says, so if you went into plank, then you go into good sitting. If you stayed in downward dog, Well done, we'll carry on with the game. Yogi says mountain pose. So I did say yogi say, so you should have done mountain pose. Yogi says tree pose. Okay, and I said tree pose. Yogi says gorilla pose. Yogi says cobra. Yogi says giraffe pose. Gorilla pose. So I didn't say yogi say, so if you went into this pose, then you have to sit down, do 3 breaths, and then join back in the game. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker, because hopefully you've got the gist of the game now. So yogi says tree pose. Yogi says mountain pose. Yogi says gorilla pose. Plank. Did I catch you out? If I caught you out, 3 breaths, just join back in the game. Yogi says tree pose. Yogi says giraffe pose. Yogi says good sitting. Yogi says cobra. Tree pose. If you did tree pose, then 3 breaths, join back in the game. Yogi says mountain pose. Yogi says frog pose. Haven't done that one yet, but you might know it. So you have to have your hands in between your feet. You can line them up if you can. Try and keep your balance. That is our frog pose. Yogi says gorilla pose. Yogi says plank. Cobra. I didn't say yogi says, so if you did cobra, then you need to do 3 breaths and then join back into the game. Okay, I'm going to go really fast this time. Okay, yogi says tree pose. Yogi says plank. Yogi says giraffe pose. Yogi says frog. Tree. Do 3 breaths if you did tree and then join back in the game. Yogi says giraffe pose. Yogi says downward dog. Yogi says plank. Yogi says tree pose. Yogi says mountain pose. Plank. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a cool down now. So what we're going to do, we'll do it from standing, I think, and then we can go to sitting and think about our breathing, because we like to, when we've done something a bit more energetic, try and bring our heart rate down, bring our breath to a normal breathing rate. So we're going to feet distance apart like this, and then we're going to just roll our shoulders forward. Okay, again, nice and slowly. Nothing should be rushed, because you might hurt yourself, or it just makes you feel more energized, and we should be calming down. And then backwards. You can bring your elbows, if you like, into this as well. Okay, we're going to do a nice big stretch up. Again, tuck your tummy in, don't arch your back, try and tuck your tummy in and don't lean forward. And we're going to do some breathing now, so we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4, and then in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4, and then in, 2, 3, 4, and then out, 2, 3, 4. At the end of a yoga session, it's a really good idea to do 5 minutes of meditation. So meditation is when you try to be as still as possible. You get really, really comfortable, and you might listen to a story, or you have particular thoughts going through your mind. So I've put my daughter's bunny into relaxation. So you might want to go and do the same. You might want to get a blanket or a cushion or anything that makes you really, really comfortable, because I'm about to read you a little meditation story for you to think about. So you might want to hit pause while you go and grab a blanket and then get ready for your story. If you are able to, you might also want to have a bit of music. So I'm going to play a little bit of relaxing music in the background while I'm reading the story. So here we go. So get comfortable, close your eyes and relax. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe it out slowly through your mouth. Now just breathe normally and relax. Imagine a big, beautiful rainbow in front of you. See all of its colours. Feel the colours. Imagine the colour is red and is glowing brighter than the rest, and there is red all around you. Breathe in the colour red. Think to yourself, I am safe, and say to yourself, I feel safe. Now imagine the colour orange is glowing brighter, and orange is all around you. Breathe in orange. Think to yourself, I feel my feelings stirring in my body. Say to yourself, I feel peaceful. Next, imagine the colour yellow is growing and is all around you. Breathe in yellow. Think to yourself, I am powerful. Say to yourself, I feel confident. Now imagine the colour green is glowing brighter, and there is green all around you. Breathe in the colour green. Think to yourself, my family and friends love me, and I love them. And say to yourself, I feel loved. Imagine the colour light blue. It's getting brighter, and light blue is all around you. Breathe in the glowing light blue. Think to yourself, people listen when I talk, and I am a good listener. Say to yourself, I feel heard. Now imagine the colour dark blue, also called indigo, and it's getting brighter, and indigo is all around you. Breathe in indigo. Think to yourself, I have a great imagination. Say to yourself, I see great things happening for me. Now imagine the colour purple is getting brighter, and the colour purple is all around you. Breathe in purple. Think to yourself, I am wise. Say to yourself, I am smart. Take one last look at your big, bright, beautiful rainbow and notice if you see anything. Notice if you feel anything. Notice if you hear anything else. Or do you just notice anything else? Now, take a deep breath and wiggle your toes. Now take another deep breath and wiggle your fingers. take one last deep breath and open your eyes when you are ready. Thanks for watching my yoga video. Bunny says see you later, and I hope to see you all really soon, and I'm really missing you now. Take care now. Bye.